Hey everybody, I hadn't planned on an episode so soon, but I came across this and some other comics and thought, what the hell. Anyway, Dominic Fortune, Howard Chaykin character, he did it for Atlas Comics in the mid-70s, which was a 4-month lasting publishing comic company that was trying to knock Marvel off of the stands, and it failed incredibly. Howard Chaykin and others were lured by the highest page rates in the industry. And even though Roy Thomas swore that if anybody worked for Atlas, they won't welcome back, well, he still needed the talent, so he got over it. Chaykin created this character called the Scorpion, exact same costume. And then Atlas folded. He took it over to Marvel, Dominic Fortune. Similarly, Rich Buckler had Demon Hunter, and he took over to Marvel as Devil Slayer. And there may have been another example or two, but I'm not sure. So let's get down to it. Okay, the story must have been sitting in a file a while because it's co-plotted by Len Wein and Chaykin. And at this point in 1980, when this comes out, Wein had gone over to DC and he edited New Teen Titans with Marv Wolfman and George Perez. And he did a lot of other stuff too, but script by David Michelini, layouts Chaykin, finished art Austin. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. And you can see that face on Dominic over there. That's definitely a Austin face. And you'll see quite a few Austin faces that almost look like Byrne faces, but that's only because during the Dark Phoenix saga and all that, Austin kind of added a little bit to the faces that were different than what Byrne might have wanted, but you can't argue with the results. Well, Dum Dum Dugan, from the Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos, he was on this gambling boat, this casino boat owned by Raven Sabbath, and there were some sore losers that attacked him, so that's how all this mess happened. And I love that outfit. They miscolored it on the cover, and just knocked somebody off about one of the thugs. And Raven is she's part of. They have an interesting relationship. She sort of gets work for Dominic, but they're also lovers on and off. She's the boss woman, but they have a very interesting relationship, very complex. And this takes place before the Second World War. These stories are supposed to take place in the mid-30s. And they're going out to... Where are they going? I don't know. I forgot. But anyway, they're taking a trip to do another circus event. And there she is, Raven Sabbath. And she's like, I've decided not to sell. Well, what? He wanted the circus really bad. And there's a very Terry Austin hand, very much so. I wish this could have happened in the second year of Micronauts, where layouts were done by Chaykin, and the finishes were by Al Milgrom. And with all apologies to Al, it really looked awful. It just was, it was kind of rushed. It's just awful. I wish I could take it back or pretend, but anyway, Austin. I think Bob McLeod would have been done. A lot of those early inkers, the Bronze Age inkers would have done well. Well, the circus is trying to get back their money, so Dominic Fortune does some high wire act type stuff. That's a great face there in the middle of the woman handing out cigarettes and candy. This wild lion, he has to stop it, and they bust this one guy who did it. I like her distinctive face. And there's a safe with an explosion in it. Dum Dum tosses it. Love that. It's kind of Cheech Wizard. There's those Austin flames. And he gets on the plane that is running away. Stop them all right. And he gets off and it crashes. He saves the bad guy. Now that is such a Byrne face. And but you know what? It's definitely a Byrne Austin face. It because when Byrne does faces like that, it's a little different. But I enjoyed this. They need to make a collection of all the Dominic Fortune appearances. I don't know if they'd be able to get the two Scorpion issues, but he appeared here, and he appeared in 6 issues of backup painted color issues of backup Dominic Fortune of the Hulk magazine, which in the late 70s, and then in the 2000s, Hey Chaikin did another 4-issue mini-series. I would love to see a collection, you know, soft cover, hard cover, I don't care. And speaking of the Micronauts, issue 3, I should have pulled out issue 2, but I didn't have the floppy of it, but it had them running away from a push mower in this deep grass, and Golden just really knows what to do with the Micronauts and the scale. Sometimes it's bullshitted a little bit, but you know, it's a comic book. You can't, you know, I'm not talking Golden specifically, I'm talking pretty much every artist, and throughout the first 11 issues, Golden did those new heads. I always love that. I love it, I love it, I love it. I mean, I know Justice League of America had done that for a long time, but it's just, I don't know, it's something special. Biotron. And as everybody knows, pretty much, that the Micronauts were just a toy line, and Bill Mantlow's son got some of those for Christmas, and Mantlow's taking note of how cool the characters are, and he saw like a backstory to it, so he kind of nudged, I don't know if it was I guess it was Archie Goodwin at the time, right before. There we go. Got that 3. Look at that. Wow. And Bill Mantlo and Michael Golden created such it's world building, but in the best possible way. And same with Rom Space Knight. There he has big old cars, and the toy had a centaur figure also, where he like change his legs into you know, horse. Another guy there, Argon, who is a good guy. Faster. And his art is quite different than Dog Got Tossed, because Biotron's bionic strength, he had to get it away, but hopefully it's okay. I imagine it is. Power outage. This guy is down in Florida. I can't live without Donnie and Marie. That was a big show back at that time. But even it was so saccharine, it was nauseating. And right on the windshield there, instead of being smushed against the, you know, the front, he's standing on the glass. So they're trying to evade capture. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. Come on, let me get it. Oh, it's folded. Can you believe this? You're holding this up, man. They get to watch me dick around with this page. And there, ooh-wee. Yeah, next to Macabre Men thing. And this is such a trip. Michael Golden created his own language, his own text, his own alphabet, and he used it quite a bit in the back of the book, or throughout backgrounds, is what I mean. And here we got Justice League of America, which I only bought sporadically because I'm just not a huge fan of most of those characters. This is by Dick Dillon and Frank McLaughlin, who I've always liked. Steve Englehart came over. He left Marvel after Conway took him away from the Avengers and some other stuff. And Dick Dillon was on the book for many years until he died fairly young age. And then Perez took over for a while. pretty neat stuff. Dylan's stuff is always kind of, his layouts and stuff are very different. Here comes, he calls the reserve member. So here we are, the Justice League. I always wondered how Hawkman's, like his eye would be here, wouldn't it? It always kind of bothered me. What are you going to do? So, Phantom Strangers there. I came in response to your urgency, my friend, but this does not concern such as me. I fear I have more pressing matters to attend. Thus, I wish you all hail. It's like jerk off. Why just show up if you're only going to, you know. And here is the Keymaster. Here's this character named the, not Swashbuckler. I can't think of his name. Privateer. He was formerly a Manhunter from Kirby's issue of, he did first issue special, and he brought back Manhunter, but it was different. And for some reason, Englehart decided to make him the Privateer. So, really cool visuals. I mean, you have to kind of, when you're reading like a comic like this, you don't agonize over, logistics and stuff like that. It's, the same thing with like Marvel 2-in-1, but the visuals are stunning. I love that. And there is Red Tornado. Does anyone remember being next to the Privateer? Silenced. Stunned silence. One thing that was always interesting is Dick Dillon, he always gave the forehead this like heavy shadow on most of the characters when they were facing directly. Well, Privateer tries to betray him, and brace yourselves. How absurd is that? He never knew my true identity. That's just so Bronze Age. And usually Gerber does that kind of stuff. And that's it. Well, what I kind of like about this area, I'm appreciating this area of DC is because, especially Justice League, is because when Grant Morrison took over in 1997 or 96 to restart the Justice League, he got all the main characters, and he would take goofy ass characters from this Bronze Age and the Silver Age, and he would use them. And Grant Morrison, he was used to doing really dark, macabre type stories, just real alarming stuff. But when he did Justice League America, it was such a trip because he took these old characters seriously. Like Starro would not have been in the Suicide Squad movie if not for the way Grant Morrison validated the character. He would take these crazy characters and treat them, just as serious as anything else, and he did that quite successfully. I got to ink the last couple issues he did, which was fun. Just a lot of characters. Oofa. Iron Man Annual, number 15. Beautiful cover by Mark Bright, and the late Mark Bright and Andy Lanning, who later became a writer with Dan Abnett. They wrote Guardians of the Galaxy in the 90s and made them huge, the movie version. Okay, Len Kaminsky is writing all the stories here. The first one's by Gene Colan, penciler, and Al Williamson kicking it on the inks. And at this time, for quite some time, Gene Colan's art was just so wild and exaggerated and anatomically messy. It was like I can't quite describe it. It wasn't what I call messy. It was just very painterly, I guess, is the best way. And there was a special book that was a benefit that Clifford Meth wrote or came up with called Painting with Pencil, and that's exactly what he was doing there. Love that. And Al Williamson on the inks. I mean, geez. I'd love to ink Gene Colan. I've inked 3 commissions of his, but not any actual pages. There's a controller doing his thing. But I mean, some of the stuff is nightmare fuel. It's just really eerie stuff. And love that. The controller is one of my favorite characters. Oh, and it's like, is it the end? No. We got to Mark Bright kicking ass, bringing back a bunch of supervillains that Iron Man fought, like either around 127 when Justin Hammer supported a lot of them, but there's also Titanium Man and the Mandarin. And love the art by Mark Bright. He's just when he did the Armor Wars and everything, fantastic. Well, the whole thing is, this wasn't the actual villains. It was End, Simulation, and Reset. Although I do have to question why he could possibly beat all these foes in a simulation when in real life it wouldn't come that easy. Really cool stuff. And then we get to, I love all this extra stuff here. So, pretty neat. And then to fantasy masterpieces. This was such a trip. It only lasted like 10 issues. First 2 issues were Kirby monster books plus Steve Ditko edgy stories from other pre-superhero Marvel books. And so this reprints stuff for the first time exactly as appeared in 1946. However, a little caveat, I'm not 100% certain of this because Fantasy Masterpieces, they had to do some Comics Code Authority changes to some of their books and even changing splash pages. But man, the old Winter Squad, wow. I'm not sure who did, and check out the triangle head on Namor. That is like a, what is that guy name? Carl Pfeiffer, maybe, I think. It's like PF. So, it's bizarre. And years later, Roy Thomas, he made the All-Star Squadron work, where this isn't the real Cap. The real Cap got frozen, and this was a replacement Cap, either the Patriot or the Spirit of 76. It's a really good story. I'm going to cover again, because I did a vertical video, and it's kind of crappy. I'm going to do that whole What If all over again. Well, now, also, thankfully, because I've gotten more subscribers, and I thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much. I don't take you guys and gals for granted. It's just really cool to get more of an audience, and you know, I know not every video is going to be looked at because people have their preferences. So anyway, this is copying the All-Star comics where the Justice Society of America would break up into individual chapters, and then you know, with beginning and end where they're all together. First couple appearances of the Wizard, he had a cape. And I'm like, that's not terribly functional. Human Torch at Ace. But yeah, this is in the late 60s when Marvel did a lot of reprinting, and they just really went full out on nice ass shot. So I don't know who did this. Back then there weren't a lot of credits, and maybe Carl Pfeiffer did the whole book. Miss America. I don't understand superheroes who don't wear masks. I mean, it's just absurd. I can't believe it took so long for Spider-Man to come along and be like a fully masked character. Okay, there is a little triangle head, anvil head. It's a lot of fun though. And that's Toro, who is Torch's young ward, who, unlike whereas Torch is an android, Toro was a mutant who had the same powers. Look, jumping fireballs, Ice Age, Stone Age. So it's spelled Isbara, something like that. Ibasa, Heba Giba. Now we go to letters page. There were 5 frightened men. Paul Raymond. I kind of like his stuff. You know, it's really interesting. I mean, it's not riveting, but here we go. Got the Jack Kirby monster. Beware, he isn't human. But not for me. I'm not going to spoil that. Anyway, that's it for my comics, and I hope you dug it. If you got any comments, leave them below. Please like and subscribe, and tell me what you think of any of these books. If you have stories of how you first encountered these books, I love that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's all, and have a great day.